You've been told the Great Pyramid was a tomb. But what if that story is only half true? What if it was also a living machine that pulsed with the heartbeat of the Nile itself? Across decades, engineers and historians, from Edward Kunkel in 1962 to John Cadman in the 2000s to Christopher Dunn, have studied a strange possibility, that the pyramid wasn't just symbolic power, it was literal hydraulic power. Here are 4 powerful clues that the Great Pyramid may have functioned as an ancient water pump, a fusion of engineering, geology, and cosmic psychology. Clue 1. The tomb that breathes. Mainstream Egyptology says it was built to house Pharaoh Khufu. Yet the evidence doesn't breathe like a tomb, it pressurizes like a chamber. There's no body, no funerary goods, no hieroglyphs. Instead, salt crust on the Queen's Chamber walls, water erosion scalloping the subterranean ceiling, and a hinged entrance block that seals like a pressure door. These clues were recorded as early as the 1800s by surveyors like Flinders Petrie, long before any pump theory existed. So what if those strange residues and movable stones weren't mistakes, but traces of a system that once moved water through stone? Clue 2. A river locked in stone. Edward Kunkel first suggested the entire pyramid mirrored a hydraulic ram pump, a self-powered device that uses gravity and shock waves to push water uphill. Decades later, engineer John Cadman built working-scale models that successfully pumped water using only gravity and oscillation. The pulse rate of his device? Roughly 40 to 60 hertz, the same frequency range measured in the pyramid's granite chambers. Each internal passageway matches a component of that mechanism. Descending passage, the drive pipe. Granite plugs, valves. Subterranean chamber, the pulse chamber. Well shaft, rising main. Grand gallery, waveguide. King's chamber, pressure accumulator. It's an uncanny fit. The geometry itself maps the physics of a hydraulic system. Clue 3. The pulse within. Imagine water rushing down from the plateau aquifer through the descending passage. A valve closes, boom, a shock wave travels upward, compressing air pockets in the upper chambers. As pressure releases, it drives a rhythmic pulse that could lift water hundreds of feet. Cadman's models proved the concept could generate a continuous flow with no moving parts beyond water itself. Meanwhile, Christopher Dunn proposed an extension. If these pressure waves coupled with the quartz in the granite, they might have produced piezoelectric charge, an early form of resonant energy. The King's Chamber, tuned near 440 Hz, the musical A, aligns to harmonics of the Earth's own Schumann resonance, around 7.83 Hz. Water, sound, vibration. A living resonance engine buried inside the world's largest stone structure. Clue 4. Why build it at all? To the ancient Egyptians, water was not just a resource, it was life itself. Control it and you controlled civilization. During Khufu's reign, the Nile's flooding cycles were both a blessing and a threat. A hydraulic monument might have lifted water to high ground, irrigated crops, or stabilized aquifers beneath the plateau. But it may also have served a spiritual function, a symbolic act of rebirth. In Egyptian cosmology, the first land rose from the waters of Nun, creation itself as a pressure event. The pyramid could have reenacted that cosmic surge, earth rising through water, spirit ascending through matter. Even the gold or electrum capstone described in ancient texts fits the metaphor, not as decoration, but as the shining crown of a circuit linking earth and sky. Try this. Take a deep breath, in for 4, hold for 2, out for 6. Feel the rise and fall inside your chest. That's a natural ram pump. Pressure, release, lift. The ancients may have carved that same rhythm into stone, turning breath into architecture. Reflection, the science of awe. What's fascinating is not just the possibility that it worked, but why they built it this way. Hydraulics meets symbolism. Physics meets philosophy. Whether or not it pumped water, it undeniably pumped meaning. Every civilization builds machines that mirror its consciousness. For Egypt, that consciousness flowed like the Nile. Cyclical, regenerative, eternal. The pyramid's internal design may still whisper that lesson. Energy isn't lost, it's transformed. Water becomes vibration. Vibration becomes light. Maybe the Great Pyramid was never just a tomb or a power plant. Maybe it was both. A resurrection engine that moved water, sound, and story as one. It remains unproven, but testable. And that, perhaps, is the most human thing about it. To build something so vast that 5,000 years later, it still makes us wonder. So next time someone calls it a tomb, remember, even the simplest pump doesn't bury water, it raises it. Thanks for tuning into The Conscious Vibe. If this resonated, like, share, or send it to someone you know. And don't forget to subscribe for deeper drops, sharper insights, and future-shaping ideas. Hit subscribe. Stay curious. The future belongs to the conscious. See you in the next one. The Conscious Vibe, where science meets the sacred.